Crashed the Miata at Buttonwillow, and it doesn't look that bad on video, but everybody was going off the track and I went off the track too, and it was raining and there was about a foot of mud. So when I went off, it ripped off the front lip, it ripped off the rear bumper, and it ripped off the side skirt, which I still have not put on yet. But basically what happens when you go off the track at Buttonwillow when it's raining is you go into a mud pit and it pushes itself inside all of the cracks in your car. So into the wheels, into the engine and transmission, it's just completely filled with mud. So I pulled out about 50 pounds of mud from the car so far, and there's plenty more mud in the car, but it is drivable. And I made some other changes to this car since I talked about it. So I did put the Mazda Motorsports alignment kit on the front, and I now have 3.5 degrees of negative camber in the front, and that is a much better alignment setting for tire wear on the racetrack. It's right where I want it to be. The one thing that isn't right where I want it to be right now is that the fourth gear is going out on the transmission, which is a common problem on the NC1, and so I'm going to need to put a new transmission in. But even with babying the shift to fourth, this car will still run steady 202s at Buttonwillow. So it's a very fun car to drive at Buttonwillow. It's fast enough to be competitive with other cars like the S2000s, and it doesn't cost a lot to run. It's very inexpensive. It uses 255 40 17-inch tires, and the brakes last forever on it. It doesn't crack rotors like the S2000 or like the Corvettes. I'm getting a lot of use out of this car, and it's just a great platform. It's so fun to drive. If we take a look at the body panel that got ripped off, you can see that I still have all of the pieces intact, so I can get new clips and just put this back on. So nothing really serious happened to the car. The only thing that I'm really gonna have to do is get in there and change the alignment a bit. I think the alignment got messed up when I went off in the mud. Also, when I'm in fourth gear and I lift off the throttle, the car doesn't want to rotate. So the other thing that I did was I put a larger rear sway bar on. And the way I was getting around that before was I was stiffening up the rear shocks quite a bit more than the front to get the car to handle the way I want. And so by putting that rear sway bar on, I can soften up the rear shocks, have that rear end be a little bit more active, and do what I want. I think with the setup changes that I'm making, I should be in the 2-minute to 201-minute range at Buttonwillow with this car. This is a car that I can take out every day and enjoy on the street, and I can also take it to the track on the weekend and keep up with some pretty fast cars. And so I love this platform. The engine only costs $400. So when you lose the engine, you can go to the junkyard and get a Ford Fusion engine for 400 bucks, and it's just unbeatable right now. This car is so much fun. The other big thing that I did to this Miata since the last time I updated you guys was I put the larger 17x10 wheels on it. So these are 17x10 wheels with 255 40 17 tires. And the last time I was out at the track when I crashed, I didn't really get to use them to their full potential because they were rubbing quite a bit. So I did have to hit the fenders with the fender roller, and they are just massive tires. They're huge. The Miata has so much grip now. It's just a fantastic little track car, a fantastic daily driver, and a fantastic backroad car. Right now, I've ordered these clips from Mazda, and they are on their way, but I don't think that they're gonna be here in time for the next event. So I'm gonna clean the car up, I'm gonna take it out again, and then I'll run an actual fast lap. Now that I have the tires clearanced properly, and I have an additional modification to the car, I should be in the 201 range, no problem, and we'll push it and see if we can get even faster with this car. After I'm done setting it up, we'll put some really sticky tires on it and try to run a sub 2-minute lap. And the goal with this build is to run a sub 2-minute lap with the power retractable hardtop, with a streetable engine, exhaust, and suspension setup. So I'm keeping the car streetable, but we want to hit a 2-minute lap. That is all I have for you on the NC Miata. Thank you for watching, and make sure that you enjoy your car.